Hello and welcome to the Say It Sister podcast. I'm Lucy and
I'm Karen, and we're thrilled to have you here. Our paths crossed years ago on a shared journey of self-discovery, and what we found was an unshakable bond and a mutual desire to help others heal and live their very best lives.
For years we've had open, honest and courageous conversations, discussions that challenged us, lifted us and sometimes even brought us to tears. Now we want to share those conversations with you. We believe that by letting you into our world, you might find the courage to use your voice and say what really needs to be said in your own life.
Whether you're a woman seeking empowerment, a self-improvement enthusiast, or someone who craves thought-provoking dialogue, join us as we promise to bring you real, unfiltered conversations that encourage self-reflection and growth.
So join us as we explore, question and grow together. It's time to say it, sister. Hello. It's Karen and Lucy here, back for episode 3 of the Say It Sister podcast. And today we are talking about safety again, but more turning into the conversation around how do we feel safe? How do we know we're feeling safe? And how can we build that into our lives? It will be an empowering conversation. We will give you some tips and some processes that you can go through to help you connect with that inner power that we spoke about on last week's podcast. Yeah. How are you, Karen?
Yeah, this is one of my favourite topics. I could talk about this all my life. I do want to say that, this is going to really, really help you to come back into your full power as a woman and to really, really claim your space, claim your authority. And at the same time, the world is not safe all the time. There are many negative influences out there that we need to be mindful of. So if at any point you generally don't feel safe, you need to listen to that and you need to take an action. So this is amazing for you when you are in a space that is safe. This is the work to be done, to convince yourself, to tell yourself, to remind yourself that you're safe. But if you're not, please do something about it.
So I'm just going to ask you, how do you know you're safe, Karen? What's that feeling for you?
Well, the feeling is one of relief always. So, when I know that I'm safe, I feel relief. I feel open. I feel ready for life. I'm not sort of shielding or defending. So that's where I go. And obviously that's the place where we all want to be. We don't want to be defending. We don't want to be fighting. We don't want to be, having to sort of leave spaces and run away, do we? We all want to be in our true power. So it's a process that I go through to remind myself that I am safe when I am safe. And I'm going to talk to you about that in a bit. But what do you do? Tell me about your recipe.
I have a really good example of feeling safe that happened just this Saturday. And in our local city, there was a pro-peace, pro-unity rally. And I'm not associated with any of the groups that were running it or holding it. And myself and my 2 daughters wanted to go and show love and solidarity. And we all made some placards saying give a little put a little love in your heart or give peace a chance. And it was a really lovely spirit that we were getting ourselves into. And then just before we left, my youngest said, "I'm really nervous, Mum." And I said, "I am too." So I named it. And I said, the way I'm approaching it is that we will go there and we will go armed with all of our love in our hearts. But if it doesn't feel safe or it doesn't have the feeling that we need to join in, we'll just carry on walking by and it is fine. But we did get there and actually it was just people filled with love and you could feel it in the atmosphere and it's like the essence. And we all know that feeling where there's a little bit of joy in the space. And we were all there and I was there holding my placard. I was embracing it. I was chanting and singing and dancing and moving. And even though the whole of the city were walking past, I didn't care because I felt totally safe with these people. With my children, and bit by bit they started feeling safe because they could see me role modeling it. So like you say, it's that feeling that you can just be yourself. And but it's also to know that if it's a new experience that you haven't been through before, or you don't know these people, you don't know this space, it's okay to check in with that nervousness or that apprehension and have a backup plan. of if you don't feel safe, what are you going to do? But yeah, it's that, for me, that feeling of just, yeah, you feel it in the air. It's like an essence of, yes, I can be myself here.
And it's those antennae that we have, don't we? I remember seeing this like little snail sort of going along the path, and it's got its antennae up, and it's like, just like smelling everything in the air. And, it's like I've seen those like literally antennae that are up that, we can't see them, but we have them. And so we're constantly reading situations. We're always like, I think ultimately as women, we're always probably asking ourselves these questions. Am I safe here? Am I safe with you? Can I trust you? Are you like, are you like a sister? Are you in my tribe? This is something that's so inherent, because if you think about, tribes and cultures, they needed each other to survive. This idea of like plugging in and plugging into mutual support. I always go back to like the idea of like women feeding each other's children, and we had to trust each other to survive, because we couldn't really do it alone. And actually, to be outcast is actually quite dangerous. So, the tribal instinct is to sort of come together to support each other and to lift each other up. And when I hear that, I hear about the love and the connection. That's a safe space. That's somewhere that you could get into. Not only could you get into it, you could share it. And I feel like that's what we all need, don't we, on so many levels?
Yeah, and you know what? 3 or 4 years ago, no, 2 years ago, me and my girls took a holiday to, well, we went interrailing around Europe. And because I wasn't as young, free, and naive as I used to be, what I made sure was that I knew which trains to get and that we had accommodation within easy reach of the train station, so we weren't walking around with loads of bags on our backs, etc.
Mm.
So I did those, safety mitigation things. But then, as we were walking around, all of our antennas were up, and we were all listening to each other. And it's almost like we had three lots of antennas all going off. And some of the places we went to were just amazing. And other places we went to, yeah, we really did feel that we had to leave or be alert or be aware. And we got out of those spaces quite quickly. And
Mm.
it wasn't a particular country, it might have just been a street or walking past a cafe where there was a little bit of an edge. And so, it's not just about being safe in your home or in your local community. Actually, what we found was going around Europe, most people are inherently good people and they are welcoming. And if you needed help, wanted to ask for directions, needed to go and use their restroom, whatever it was, most people were really, really welcoming. And so that's given me and also my children this feeling that actually the world is good, but you still do need to be on alert. And yeah, and that's through my awareness of noticing the signals, but also the fact that I have been through my healing journey. And had we have done that journey probably when I was in my 30s, I'd have probably been a very different mother going around those cities. And you've done a lot of work over, particularly the last 7 years of your healing journey to get to this feeling of safety. Just share some of the things that you did, some things you tried that worked, that didn't work, that might help our listeners.
I think everything I tried has actually worked.
Ah,
I'm
great.
just such like an open, receptive vessel. But there was a time when actually the only way I could do it was to be in it and to feel it and to, get into my little cave, my woman cave, which was my bed, and, just take care of myself, feel my emotions, just let the despair overtake me sometimes, knowing full well that I was a new mum and I had to also take care of my daughter was like a really good leveler for me, because it meant that when I did go into the space of despair, I did it in a very controlled way, and very measured way, which gave me a sense of peace in a weird way, knowing that I could also be laughing and enjoy with my, like my newborn baby and be a fully active mother. But I also knew that I had to take space and time when she was asleep to do this, safe healing, I would call it.
Because otherwise you'd have been doing the healing whilst with your daughter
I
or
just
dealing
wouldn't
with
have.
trauma, and it was never going to work.
Yeah, well, the trauma was in me. So,
Yeah.
when you've got PTSD, you never know when you're going to respond to something. So I had to serve myself and her by doing the work. And some of that was just to be in the present moment, feel the feelings. And then I've had a variety of guides over the years who've taught me many different things, and each one has come at the right time, and really helped me to tackle what needed to be tackled at that point. I feel like it's literally like stepping stones. You do that, you do the next bit. But some of the things that have really helped me in the last couple of years, probably the last 2 years, once I'd got out of the cave, once I decided it was time to come out of the cave, my daughter was in school by then. It was like, there's a world out there and I want to be part of it in a way that is not through a computer screen. I want to be able to go run retreats or whatever might come up from my clients who I work with, to be able to say, sure, I'll come to Switzerland and do a talk about, menopause and perimenopause. No problem. Yes, I can go down on a train to London, but I couldn't have done that before because I was too triggered and too nervous in a way that my nervous system was not regulated enough to be able to. I was doing big things, but in a very safe way. And now it's much more like, yay. But the things that have really worked for me, I work with an amazing woman. I'm going to put her details on our Facebook page, if you're all right with that, Lucy, who is a trauma expert. She does specialize in PTSD. So for anyone out there who has PTSD, she's called Jane. I'm going to post the details, but she is also a therapeutic coach. And so she does this like very beautiful work. And, it's tapping, it's EMDR, it's more of the therapeutic based approaches to releasing trauma from the body, because whilst you can do so much work, if it's still sitting in your body, it's still there. And that's where PTSD or complex PTSD can be in our systems for so long. And unless we're doing active ways to help us stay calm, even if we're triggered, so that we're not back in the trauma, that I think for me, fundamentally, this has been the last 2 years have been the fundamental pieces that have enabled me to actually say, yes, I can get on a plane. Yes, I can get on a train on my own. And I'm not, in a state of anxiety. And if I do feel anxious, I can tap. So I do all my tapping rituals now because I've trained in that as well. So, I think there is so much that you can do to feel safe in your own body by releasing the stuck blocks, trauma, whatever it might be for you, whatever you're going through, that will help you to feel a state of rest, will help you sleep more easily at night, and that you can also use, whilst you're on the road.
Yeah. I'll be completely frank and honest to the listeners. It was after my most recent assault that I actually reconnected with Karen. And so it was a blessing because we're now reconnected. And Karen really helped me process a lot of what I was going through. And we said in the last episode, speak quickly. I reconnected with you about a week after my assault. And because I went there really quickly and I wanted to process the hell out of it, it released really quickly for me. And part of that was doing some guided meditation. Some of it was using the Akashic records. And there was a lot of visualizations because I'm a visual person, I'm a storyteller, and I need to imagine things in my mind and letting go, etc. So that really worked for me. But then more recently, I've really connected with my ancestors. So not only did I connect with them through the work that we did together, Karen, but then it started this journey of me wanting to learn more about them. What were the times in their lives? What was it like living in that period of time? And as a result, I went through listening to and reading lots about witches. And actually, I just need to put it out there. Witches now is almost like this reclaiming, and there are so many people that are learning and understanding and putting some of the practices. So it's not all about hexes and spells and all that kind of stuff. Sometimes it's just about being in nature and just realizing that we're all part of this big system. So anyway, I started going on this journey and then realizing that I'm part of a lineage of women who have faced this stuff, and I'm almost got to heal those really old wounds within me. so that I can almost break the chain, the generational chain, and release it for my daughters. So another thing that is really important for me is almost also feeling physically safe in my body. And so I do lots of hiking. I've gone wild camping. I will forage for food. And it might sound a little bit crazy, but I'm an outdoors kind of person. But again, it's knowing that when I'm out in nature, I can survive. I can light my own fire. I can navigate. And that has also given me this feeling of safety, because whatever situation I'm in, I trust myself now that I can get out of it and I will be just fine. And so, yeah, I just wanted to share that for the listeners, because I'm sure some of my little witchy insights or ancestral insights will also come up throughout the shows.
I think we should do a whole other one on ancestors, by the way, because there's so
Yes.
much to say about that. But what I do want to say to you is that I'm so proud of you, because I feel like the way that you approached your healing journey was incredible and so present in the moment and so committed to your own healing, to your own evolution as well. You were just so powerful in yourself, even though you were going through something that was painful. So I have to say that as a, double underline it in lights, flashing lights, to say, like, amazing
Thank
work.
you.
Um,
And yeah, I'm testament to the fact that you can go through stuff and process it and heal from it really quickly if you almost throw yourself hugely into it. And actually, the stuff that has taken me longer to heal from are the things that I've had buried for years and years and years. So it gets harder the more you buried it. But because of what happened, it forced me to go back to all of those other instances that happened through my life. And I've just looked at them all and said, none of it was my fault. Yes, I was in situations because I didn't have the skills or the techniques or the awareness, but now I have them. I am safe. And I think there's a little bit there about being in my later 40s now. And not quite, but soon my baby making time is done. And so I'm not useful to some of those people anymore. And I don't get the attention when I walk down the street like I used to. And so that's almost, well, it is really liberating. And that
thank
gives
God
me a
for
lot of
that.
safety.
That's
Yeah.
all I want to
Oh,
say.
it
Who
is
needs that?
liberating. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And, I'll wear clothes that I want to wear, not because somebody's going to judge me on them. It's like, no, I feel good. This is how I want to show up. And that's where I know I'm feeling really safe. And
Yeah.
it is an incredible feeling. I just wish I'd had it all my whole life.
Well, now is the time, isn't it? And now is the time to talk about it. And now is the time to educate. And now is the time to, to share, because younger women will be listening to this. We all have to, like, walk our own path, don't we? And have our own experiences. There's a part of me that always wants to go in and, like, take everything away from Catalina and, so she doesn't have any bad experiences. And there's a little bit of arrogance in that for me, because I'm like, it's so wrong, because she has to have her own human experiences, as we all do, and we've all got who knows what's ahead of us. We don't know that. We only know what's behind us, don't we? And what's happening right now in this moment. And I feel like the more we can do to just talk about our experiences and share what works for us, then at least that can get passed down the line. And then
Yeah,
support those who are going through things right now, who we're further down the line in our journeys, but we've had a lot of life experience, and that means that we can support others that might be in that life experience and not seeing the light at the end of the tunnel, and so dark in there that we can go in there and say, hey, sister, I always say the same, I hear you, I see you, I love you, and I will support you, just as we have done for each other over the course of our many years. And that can be the light that helps someone to break through, to go, and it's that I believe in you piece. Someone said that to
yes.
me when I said with the first person that I worked with, who was a man actually, but such a beautiful man, and I said to him, I don't know if I'm going to ever recover from this. And he said, I believe in you, and not on my watch. And so
Wow.
it sort of, I think about that a lot. I think about those words. He's solid. He's like a grandfather energy, He's like
Mm.
an elder, and I really felt it from him, and I just thought, I knew it was true. I knew it was true.
Do you know what? It is really powerful when a man gives you those words and you totally feel safe in their presence. And I've had that happen to me a few times in my life where I've just thought, I totally believe that whatever I go through, you will be there for me and make me feel safe when I'm not feeling safe. And
Mm.
that isn't the masculine of energy of, I'm going to go and beat them up or I'll sort it out for you. It's actually staying in the hard place with you and just say, I'm here, I see you, I'm not going away. And whether you're a man, woman, grandparent, a friend, you can absolutely be that energy. And
Yeah.
I'm really interested, are there any particular tools that you would share with our listeners as, you know, I know it's not a tick like do step one, two steps two, and then you're healed. But is there any wisdom that you can offer?
Yeah, there's something else I want to say about your share, and then I'll go into that. You said when you were describing the foraging and being in nature, and what I was hearing was you are connected to your body as well as nature. So you are in nature and you're connected to your body. And I feel like that's where the healing happens. That's where feeling safe happens because we're not disconnected from our bodies. We're actually, fully in ourselves. This is the safest place for any woman to be and man, but we're speaking to the feminine. And for me, when I'm in my body, I'm alive. I can trust it. I'm present. My instincts are like there. When I'm somewhere else in my head, perhaps, or I've disconnected completely, that's the most unsafe place for me. So when you were talking, I was like, yes, you're in your body. And I think, a woman who's connected to her body is connected to her voice.
Yes.
And she is the most powerful woman. And she's a woman not to be messed with, generally speaking. If you're thinking something bad towards someone, you're probably going to go for a woman standing next to her who's, not quite showing herself in the same way. Generally, I mean, this isn't 100% all the time. We know that, but generally speaking. So I loved what you said because I was like, yeah, absolutely. I feel like this is a safety practice, whether or not we're consciously doing it as a safety practice or not. It really is. And the thing that I do that was taught to me by the woman that I'm working with right now, and I do it very often. And basically, I check out where I am. So this is about feeling safe in my body when I am safe. So I look around the room. If I'm in a room and I'll go, is it safe in this room? Yes, it's safe in the room. I'll listen to the sounds in the house. I'll say, is it safe in the house? Yeah, it's safe in the house. I'll look out onto the street and I'll say, is it safe on the street right now? Yes, it's safe on the street right now. And I'm just using all my senses, and some of that is sound and sight. It might be a feeling. There might be a feeling in my body that I'm going, is this feeling present now? No, okay. Yes, I am safe in my body. And then I just say to myself, it's safe for me to feel safe when I am safe. And I take a deep breath in and I'll just release anything out that's fear related through my breath. And then I come back into my body. It's safe for me to feel safe in my body. And I just wait for my body, my mind, my space around me to just be like, okay, we've got this. And I'll say something like, I am powerful now, or I am here now. And that is, that's the way for me to get back home into me, into my heart, into the present moment. And it's not failed me so far, let's say that.
Oh, and I just want to just acknowledge, even going, doing this as a almost like a rehearsal, you've changed the essence of the energy in your space, in my space, and I bet the space rippling around the world right now, with all the listeners, there's an essence that shifts just by doing that, slowing down, checking, and then saying, I'm safe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if we weren't, then it's like, oh, actually, no, because it's a great check-in full stop. Like, I just know there is something going on. I'm not
Yeah, I
safe.
mean, if there was something outside going on, oh no, I'm not safe right now. So
Yeah.
that first check is just like, let's bring the awareness, am I safe? And if there is no evidence to suggest that you're not safe, then just go through the process. If
Yeah.
there is evidence, then do something about it.
Yeah. 999. It's your best
Yes.
friend. Seriously. Like we need to call the police more often. I'm
Yeah.
like, serious. I'm serious. I've just really started to realize that. It's taken me a long time to go, hold on a minute, I have a phone, I can put 3 digits in, and be connected to somebody. Like, how amazing is that? I've known that all my life, but never really thought about it properly. And I feel like, there are so many procedures in place of things that we can do. Often it's just to know it's there. We're not going to be, I'm joking when I say that, I'm obviously not going to be calling the police all the time. But there's been moments out on the street where people come towards me and I've thought, if you keep going, I'm on my phone, mate, and I'm not scared to do that if I'm not safe.
Yes.
But when I'm safe, I'm here and I'm back in my body and I'm present within myself and I'm a good, kind, loving person and I do my very best. And that's okay for me.
Well, that sums it up really. Just, yeah, I'm a good, kind person, and I'm doing my best. Yeah, love that. So, you're going to put that in the Facebook page just so everybody has got that sequence. And even if you want to just keep rewinding this podcast and just listen to Karen's words as she says it until it's in your head and it's your mantra, then do it, because it is so powerful. And even just hearing you go through it, I was like, yes, right now I'm completely safe. So I'd be really curious to our listeners just to share, what did you learn through that process? What came up for you? How might you start using this in your life? And I just invite you, Karen, just to share one piece of wisdom or one lasting thought that you want to share on this huge topic, your favorite topic on feeling safe.
When you always know. We do get blindsided, but there's something else. There's generally some signal. So my wisdom is to listen deeply inside your own body.
And my wisdom that I would like to share is get out in nature, whether it's sitting on a balcony, sitting in a park, look up at the sky at night out of your window, listen to the birds, because there's something there that just signifies that the world is out there and actually it has its rhythm and its flow, and you are being held by something greater, whatever that greatness looks like to you. But yeah, there's something really grounding and safe just by being in nature. So I invite you all to find your thing. So thank you for being on this journey with us. We hope that you took something from today, and this topic will come up time and time again because we've got so much information and knowledge to share with you. So thank you.
Thank you. Stay safe, everybody.
So thanks for listening, and we can't wait to welcome you next time.
Until then, use your voice, journal, speak or sing out loud. However you do it, we hope you join us in
Saying It Sister.